Give me a yeah.
Yeah, check. 1, 2,
Now you
3,
got to do it like
4.
the guy in Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa,
There.
check.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me fuel, give me fire.
Give me that which I desire. Yeah, okay,
You knew
good.
it. Very good. All right.
Why are you so surprised?
I know you're musically diverse. I just didn't know if you'd go Metallica, the record that nobody cares about so much. So.
This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Welcome to Total Babble, the very favorite podcast of Jim Gaffigan. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Stushy's Emily, and we can explain that. Last week, talked about Jim Gaffigan. You told a story, and I did a little promo clip of it and put it up in social media, and he liked it. You can just take that for what it is, and he thought it was maybe cute and liked it. But I take it to mean that we are now the very favorite podcast of Jim Gaffigan, and that's what I'm going to tell people moving forward. So go with that. Jim Gaffigan, good, talented guy.
Oh, he's actually my favorite comedian, and so that gave me a real thrill.
And I genuinely like him. It's not just like I'm sucking up. So there you go, the official podcast of Jim Gaffigan. We'll just start telling people now that he's on the show. I think that would be a good way to go too now.
I'm going to draw the line back there, but
No?
I'll definitely go with, he liked us one time.
You do a very good impression of him. I think you could get away with it. Go with that. Speaking of podcast, Taylor Swift is going on her Dumb Boyfriend's podcast today, as a matter of fact. It hasn't been released yet, but they put out a new promo clip, and I guess she's going to be announcing a new album, and we can play this little promo teaser thing that they put out, and everybody can hear that. There's a couple things that I notice. The audio is distorted. That shouldn't be. Her boyfriend and his monstrous ego can't just be quiet as his brother is screaming this blowhardy intro about Taylor Swift. He has to jump in. And also, she's an angel with humility. And I don't know why she's with this guy, but how many times have we said that before? But here we go. This is a minute 49 seconds or something. Taylor Swift on whatever this podcast is.
Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, and producer and director from Nashville, Tennessee. That's bullshit. She is from Reading, Pennsylvania. She is the most awarded artist in the history of the American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and iHeart Radio Music Awards.
Yeah, damn.
She has 14 Grammy Awards and is the only artist in the history to win Album of the Year 4 times. Last December, she wrapped up the Eras Tour, which spanned 149 shows across 51 cities, 5 continents, and was the most attended tour of all time. I'm still going. Hold on. Her last album, The Torture Poets Department, set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone.
All right.
In the first week?
And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl. Ready, you presenters? Are you ready for it? Making your podcasting debut, the most aggressive guest in the history of shows, Taylor Swift!
Oh, my God.
That intro, Jason. Oh, my God.
I've seen this before.
No,
He's
look,
about to
his
black out.
soul
Jason,
has left his
just breathe.
body.
I'm cramping. I'm
breathe.
cramping.
No,
I'm
that was so good. Thank
I've seen this
you.
before.
I tried, Tay.
Thank you for screaming for like 47 seconds. That was so nice. That was so
Tay,
sweet.
welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
So sense of humor there at the end, but what struck me more than anything is this is why I can't hang out with dudes. Oh my God, that just fake bullshit high energy. Oh! Dudes are like that, and none of my friends are. My few dude friends are not like that. Is anybody that you know like that?
Yeah. And
Really?
interestingly,
Oh.
whilst that was happening, I was reminded, I know that I talk a lot about my kids on the show, but I'm going to share another story.
Alrighty.
My youngest son came home. I picked him up from school. It's week 2 of school and it's a new school, so I'm monitoring the social situation carefully. And now he's boomeranged, right? So he went to this school, went to another school, and now we're back. This is
That
important
because
context.
he's Australian half or full?
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoopsh. That's
All right.
he is Australian. He was born in Australia.
That's right. You
and
get
he's
back
also
here
American.
with your boomerang.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So he's got mates, and he came back to this school to be with his mates. This is important context for this story.
All right.
So he gets in the car, and I was like, "Oh, how was your day, mate? What did you do at recess? Who did you play with?" And he's like, "No one." I was like, "All right then. What did you do?" He goes, "I went for a walk." I was like, "All right." He goes, "Yeah, I just walked around the playground by myself." I was like, "Oh, nobody joined you?" He's like, "No." I was like, "How do you feel about that?" He's like, "Great." Okay, was there a story? Anyway, I dug and dug and dug. Turns out that his friends are just a bit much.
They're all a bunch of dickheads, Mom.
No, they are those guys who, they're very loud, they're very screamy, they grab each other, they jump up and down, they want to wrestle, they want to push each other, they want to do all of that. And on this particular day, the little bloke just wanted to hang out, but just didn't want somebody all over him screaming in his face. Now, he likes his friends, loves his friends, literally moved schools to be with his mates. But on this particular day, he's like, "I just wanted to be quiet." I was like,
It
"All right,
seems
cool."
like you have smart, thoughtful kids. And that energy that you're talking about, it doesn't surprise me for younger kids. That is a natural thing, and it goes with hormones raging and growing up. But it seems like at some point you would grow out of that. And I think dudes that are in sports, like Taylor Swift's brother-in-law or whatever, just haven't grown out of that, and maybe that's what the issue is. I just can't be around that fake, false energy of any kind, and there's other types, but that just struck me as, oh my God, there's people like this, and I don't encounter it because I don't believe in sports.
Well, and I wonder how much of it, though, is being a character as
Right.
well. Like, surely they're not like that all the time.
And I think so much of our modern day society is everybody just being a character and not being themselves.
So
It's in
true.
the social media and everywhere that you look. It's, well, I'm putting on this so that I appear this way. And you go home at night, and is that satisfying for you? You're not really living what you're putting out there? I would think that would be a conflict, but whatever.
And so exhausting.
Yeah.
I think about people who, I know people who won't leave the house unless they're, say, wearing a full face of makeup, or unless they've done their hair, or I don't know. I'm sure there's many and varied variations of that. And I just think of how awful and exhausting it must be. Or people who won't let their children choose what they wear. And it's just so frightful. A friend of mine, Natalie, she told me the story. She's a nanny, actually, for a professional athlete. And she took her kids to, not her personal children, but the kids she takes care of, to a pool. And this mother, absolutely gorgeous, rolls in with an equally gorgeous little girl, probably about 3, stunning. She rolls out this cute blanket. She starts setting up all of these little things. It's so cute. Then she sets up a tripod and a camera, and this little girl is wanting to touch everything and play with everything and everything. She sets everything up, takes a photo, and then packs up all her shit and leaves without letting the little girl play at the splash pad, go in the pool, eat any of the food, or do any of the stuff. And she came home and she told me about it, and it was just so gobsmacking. I know that's a little bit of a side quest, but it's about this whole playing a character, keeping up appearances. And for who?
Yeah, it's those people that are constantly taking pictures of their dinner. That would get so tiring. And just, oh my God, I don't care what you're eating tonight. And the fact that you're doing that says so much to me about you as a person. I don't want to be a part of you. And they just do it constantly. And that reminded me of a story that the company that I work for had this thing where we were all going to go out and help build houses for Habitat for Humanity locally. And it was like, okay,
Awesome.
I would rather just work. And I wasn't trying to be shitty about it. I think they do good work, but I got pushed into doing this because they needed more people to do it. Not enough people were doing it. And I got into the mindset of, okay, I'm going to go do this now. It's a good cause. And we were out there working and sweating through the day and really busting our ass. And in my mind, I said, okay, this is a good cause. And there was some celebrity from some fucking CW show at the time that showed up that, and there was this murmur going around, oh, she's here. And all they did was they had her show up, take a couple pictures with a hammer, and they took the pictures and then she went home. And I just thought, well, that's fucking shitty. And I mentioned at the event, well, that's shitty. And they said, well, yeah, but her being here gets so much attention to the cause. Well, I don't care. Then have her not pick up a hammer and just say, I took pictures today with people at this and then went home. The fact that you're saying she came out and worked when she didn't do shit is disingenuous and lame.
Yeah.
It's gross. I wish I
That
remember
is
who that was, because
so
now I know she's gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
I couldn't in good conscience do something like that. Now, granted, I'm not famous, but even if I was, I couldn't live with myself. Or like endorsing a product that I didn't believe in.
Exactly. When I was on radio, there were things that I was supposed to say that I really enjoyed, and I would say to the salesperson, no, I'm not going to say I like that. I don't like that. If you're going to make me voice their spot, I'll do that. But if it says we do this and we do that, I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say there. And I used to get in fights about that because I'm not going to say that I'm into something that I'm not, unless you pay me a lot of money. So,
Pistol Pete's hemorrhoid cream. The best.
you know, from time to time, if you get, well, I was going to go just beyond there. Never mind. When I pull back, you know it's something. The other thing I noticed in this Taylor Swift promo video for her boyfriend's dumb podcast is that they are wearing biodynamic headphones. She is wearing a pair of Sony 7506s. You think maybe that's an Easter egg for something on her album? She does stuff like that. Maybe she has a song about headphones or 7506 Sonys or something like that.
She's probably sponsored by them.
Sony.
It's probably what she uses.
Could be. That might
studio.
be. That very well could be. Yeah, there you go.
It's probably what she uses in the studio when she's producing her own music.
Right. And as goofy and nerd bit as that was with me bringing it up, the facts that I brought up are absolutely true, and I absolutely noticed the difference in the headphones. So there you go. Speaking of which, I'm bummed, and this kind of goes along with what we're talking about. Good lead in there. I think I need to break up with Apple. I'm at a point now where I think I need to not be a part of them.
Yeah.
Because there was more in the news this week that Tim Cook, the Uncle Tom of gays, as I've been calling him, visited President Trump at the White House and brought with him a custom gift for the president. It was this glass plaque with a gold-plated base. And he announced that Apple's $600 billion investment in the U.S. is going to be happening, I think, in Kentucky or something. And this was really just political bullshit to protect Apple from Trump's tariffs. And I understand if he needed to maybe make that move with investing and putting up factories here, but then to go and to just suck his dick saying that, oh my God, President Trump, let me give you this plaque is just gross and terrible. And I have audio of it here. The first 5 seconds are bad. They didn't mic it well, but then you'll hear. And think of the kid in high school that used to get beat up and now he's kowtowing to the bullies that beat him up and saying, please don't beat me up anymore. And you'll kind of get the spirit of this. This is Tim Cook with Trump.
Here in the U.S., in California. And this glass comes off the Corning line. It's engraved for President Trump. It's a unique unit of one. It was designed by a U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a former one that works at Apple now.
He's done well.
Designed it for you. And the base comes from Utah.
And make sure that you work the base, Tim. He likes that.
And is 24 karat gold. And it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
Wow.
And then he can't get it to quite work.
Well, there we go. Congratulations,
Thank you,
Mr.
Graham. That's
President.
just
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
Oh, there you go. So he made that announcement, and then he gave him the plaque, and then he vigorously serviced Trump and said, "Thank you, Daddy," and we went from there. So that bothers me. It's just gross and makes me want to sell off all my Apple stuff. I think if I can go Windows and sell all my Apple stuff on eBay, I'm thinking of maybe doing that. And people said, well, what good is that going to do? You're not buying new stuff, because if I can sell my Apple stuff, I'm selling it to somebody else that would buy new stuff, and I'm preventing a sale of Apple stuff. And then I'm going Windows for the rest of my life. The only problem is the technology doesn't match. Apple is really far ahead in what they do and the processors and that kind of thing. And it sounds very nerd, but to find stuff that is comparable on Windows would be way more expensive. And some of it doesn't even exist yet. And it has to be silent, because if we have a big fan going here by the microphone, that's a problem. And just so much that I'm looking into. So I don't know. I want to do it. I'm just working out how to do it.
The gold thing, going back to the gold-plated base, though. No, it's not plated. It's 24 karat gold, though. Do you know what one economist guessed it was worth?
I can't even imagine, but it's good that you looked it up. What do you got there?
Because I was so incensed by it, I was like, this is a bribe. I know how they start with and this is the inscribed gold plate, but, it's really the base that we're all looking at. If it is solid gold and it weighs 20 pounds, it could be worth $1 million.
Oh my God. Well, he already gave him millions for his inauguration. He did that already too, and I was disgusted. And now he's showing up, sucking that dick again. And I don't say that because he's a gay guy. I say that because he's kowtowing to Trump and sucking his dick, all for the purposes of money. And I also say it because I know for a fact, having met some of them, that there are so many different DEI people in the Apple organization, even in their upper management, that they should be ashamed and they should feel terrible for what he's doing. So fuck that guy.
It's just so embarrassing.
Yep. Oh, she took off her headphones and she was listening again for something. Perhaps there's a burglar in the studio. I don't know what's going on. Oh, what was that?
No, you mentioned a fan, and I'm...
Oh. See, the thing is, you can kind of control it in the post with the analyzing noise, but I don't want to have to do that. Here, everything is silent. And there have been a couple times where I've mentioned your fan, and you have garbage trucks and neighbors and all kinds of things we have to try to work around. Yeah. Anyway, if I can sell my Apple stuff, maybe I'll give the listeners a first grab at it if they want to sell out and buy Apple stuff. Would I feel guilty about that? I don't know. Anyway. Trump has seized control of the Washington, D.C. police, sent in the National Guard. And hey, people have stopped talking about Epstein so much for a couple minutes,
Have they?
Yeah, here and there. People are bringing it up where they need to. And as I understand it, that's because he can kind of more get away with it in D.C. because of some special law, because it's D.C. And then that's also really meant to be a reminder to the Washington politicians that might want to oppose him if they're going to work and seeing the National Guard and police on the streets every day doing the Gestapo thing. That's really meant to send an indirect message of don't fuck with me, because look what I have waiting for you.
Absolutely. It is 100% intimidation. And it has been very sobering watching all of the fact checks roll in.
Right.
All of the rationale that he's using to do this is objectively wrong. It can be proven. Crime is at an all-time low.
You'd think he'd want to
DC.
take credit for that under his administration, but no, he's going to do this instead.
No. Let the record show that this is all happening because some guy called Big Balls had his ass handed to him on the street. This is why we're doing this. Some kid named Big Balls who worked for his administration was beaten up on the street.
Oh, I didn't know this part of it. Really?
That's it. Yeah.
Do you get the impression that he just hears something like that and decides this on a whim and decides he's going to do it? Or do you get the impression that he hears it and then meets with people and they guide him to do things like this?
I think the former. I think that he sees or hears one thing, draws his own conclusions, decides something in a vacuum, and then it happens based upon what he has decided.
Because nobody has the balls to stand up to him, including Congress. And when they come back to work, they're going to be coming back to work to police and military type presence everywhere. So I wonder if that'll make them speak up.
Well, and you also, if you think about your sphere of influence as well, I can also see, just to be balanced, I can also see how and why he would be experiencing ultra violence in DC at this time. You had that kid who was shot. You had those young staffers, the Jewish couple who was shot outside the gala and killed. You know, there's been a number of young people who have been hurt, lost their lives in and around the area in recent times. And they're quite close to the sun. Do you know what I mean? They're not just faceless, nameless people that he could ignore like he does best.
Because it has been personalized, he cares about it more.
Quite. Exactly. Yeah. So his perception of the situation is that it is grave, but the actual statistics of the situation, if all human life is equal, and if statistics are statistics, is that technically crime is at an all-time low.
Well, but all human life is not equal because remember during COVID and all those people were dying and he wasn't doing the right thing. And a lot of his followers said, well, everybody's going to die at some point. So that's the way you rationalize it. Yeah, everybody's going to die. Don't do anything to prevent it. Just, accept it. Move on.
I saw something the other day and somebody was saying, lucky COVID didn't roll through in the 70s or the 80s because our parents would have had COVID parties where would have been like, just go around to Bobby's house so you can just get the COVID and get it over and done with.
And I think there were a lot of kooks that did that on the right too, as I remember. I think there were people having COVID parties, right?
Oh, I hadn't heard.
Yeah, I believe that was the case because they just said, well, we're all going to get it, so we'll just get it and get it out of the way because it's just like the flu. Forget about the fact that millions of people are dying. It's okay.
I don't know a single person who had a COVID party.
No, I remember hearing that. There were weird people on the right, cult-type people.
I believe that it happened.
Right.
But I don't know a single person. None of those people are within my sphere.
Well, and during that whole thing, I was completely having the thought process of go ahead, keep killing yourself. The only problem is you're affecting us normal people around you that are also going to get it. If it was just them killing themselves, I'd be all for it. Feel free. That's your right as a person as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead and death doctor your way out, whatever that guy's name was. But if it affects other people, then, Kevorkian. Go on the Kevorkian plan as long as it doesn't affect other people.
I tell you what, there was a time where I was thankful. I never thought that I would say this, that I was actually thankful that I had gotten it in at least some different strain before I'd gotten it because I was so sick. I got influenza A and COVID at the same time. Thought I was going to die. And I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't had COVID before, if I didn't have any antibodies in my system.
I think when you started this show, that was what was going on with you because I remember talking to you about that and the fact that you couldn't seem to get a phone call across to me because we were going to talk. And I was like, she seems great. How do I talk to her? And I had just bought a new phone. And because there was something weird with the network, you kept trying to call me and you couldn't get through and you almost weren't on this show. God damn it. These are some fun facts for the listeners.
Yeah, I can't remember that. But I did lose almost an entire week. I remember I went to sleep and then I didn't wake up the next day, which is very unusual for me. Usually I'm up before the entire family, like making breakfast, doing all of the things. I didn't get out of bed. I couldn't move. My husband came down looking for me at 11 o'clock or something. And I remember opening my eyes and feeling like it was in a movie. I looked up like he was the second coming of Jesus Christ. I thought I was going to die. And so when I opened my eyes, it was like he had this halo. And I was like, help, help. And he's like, what do you need? I was like, medicine. water, and I was just wet with sweat. And that was the beginning of, I think it was 7 days of crawling back and forth to the toilet, hallucinations. I had to be in quarantine down there almost by myself. I can't remember most of that time.
Yeah, the combo of those two things sounds brutal. And like, wow, I would never want to do that.
It was so bad, I couldn't actually get to the doctor. We nearly called an ambulance a few times. Lucky I'm young and relatively healthy. Just think about old people living by themselves who had to go through that and how horrible and terrifying that would have been. I was lucky that I had people to take care of me.
And we finally got past it because of all the mRNA research, and we finally got there to where we had a vaccine, and all the dipshits going, well, you got to take the vaccine, you're still going to get it. Yeah, but it makes you not die, you fucking idiot. And now just keep in mind that there's a new version of COVID that I've heard that is in this state, and they're cutting back the funding for the mRNA. So we have that to possibly look forward to in all of this too, as they're taking us over in a military state. God, this is a happy, positive show.
Look at us go.
Yeah. You got to be honest. Yeah, like death and grief and sorrow. And
I saw Dr. Phil has...
Oh, yeah, that guy's a fucking dick.
He's been going on ice raids, apparently.
He's a judgmental cunt.
He's not even a real doctor.
Yeah. And by the way, just for it to qualify, it's more fun, everybody, if you call a man a cunt than if you call a woman a cunt. If you go cunt with a dude, it's good because it's degrading. It challenges their masculinity. If you go female cunt, it's a little bit more of a thing because it's more committal. So first level cunt goes to the dude, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a good idea. This reminds me of one of my favorite all-time tracks by Jack Black, friend of the show. Love this guy's music. He's actually very popular in our family. He has a musical number called A Kick in the Cunt.
Jack Black does?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it on a Tenacious D record or?
No, it is not.
It's
it
his
was
own
done
song?
on some sort of comedy special somewhere. Yes. It was when he was very young, and it's done almost Mary Poppins / Fiddler on the Roof, black and white style. He's a chimney sweep, and he's speaking in a British accent, and he's talking about if you really want to upset a lady. You can look it up. Maybe we can play a little bit. If you can find it, you can stitch it with the show. But if you want to giggle, it's a good time. I tell you what.
That's funny. You and the kids don't sit around listening to Tenacious D, do you?
No, we do not.
Okay, because, listening to Fuck Her Gently with the kids might be a problem.
Oh, yes, totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
However, we really do like School of Rock. It's a great film. Recently, they enjoyed the new Minecraft film.
I heard that's good-ish for what it is.
The kids liked it.
Yeah.
I personally, not much chop, but I enjoy spending time with my kids, so they liked it. Jason Momoa was in it as well. He was funny. I love watching them laugh, so whatever.
Saw Tenacious D at a Virgin Megastore in-store that they did when that record came out. And they played live, and there were thousands of people in this courtyard, and they put on a great show. And then I saw Kyle Gass. He had a band called Trainwreck that was kind of the same thing, but just a little bit more. There were more characters, I guess, in the group. And I saw him in a small club, and that was a great show. I had Kyle Gass bring back Trainwreck because you're not doing anything with Jack right now. Did you hear about that whole deal? How they're kind of broken up?
They broke up because of political differences, didn't they?
Yeah, Kyle went on stage when the shooting of Trump happened and said, why couldn't the guy have aimed a little bit more to the right or something like that? And apparently Jack got pissed, and I would have stood behind him. So, speaking of things, how was that for transition? Speaking of things.
Segue.
Yeah.
Which way? Segue.
Here's
all
things.
the way to the next topic.
Here's things. And at that moment in my brain, I went, okay, I guess time to transition now. Where am I going? Here's things. South Park went after Kristi Noem again this week, and she
haven't seen it.
responded. Okay, well, I have a little bit of a clip of her being interviewed on it, and this is CNN, and
I can't tell the difference between when she's talking or when it's the South Park character. They look so alike. It's uncanny.
Breaking news, the new head of Paramount telling CNN he is standing by South Park after another utterly scathing episode about the Trump administration. The latest episode hitting a nerve, prompting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to publicly respond to South Park's unflattering portrayal of her. Here she is with Glenn Beck.
First off, responding is a big mistake. You're just giving them the attention that they want, which is great as far as I'm concerned. But here she's on Glenn Beck talking about it.
Yeah, it never ends, but it's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists.
So it's a woman's issue now. It's making fun of women for how they look. And in the episode, she was going through with her team, and basically anytime they were at an event, there was a puppy, and she would go crazy shooting the puppy and killing the puppy because remember, she has puppy history.
I remember that. I remember you and I had a robust conversation about shooting dogs in the face.
Exactly. And I thought, okay, that's obvious, but you can't not do it. And I said, if they're going to do it, they have to really commit to it. And she's just constantly in cartoon form, just blowing away puppies, shooting them in the face, and blood spattering everywhere. And then also she's talking about during this, make sure you only get the brown people, abduct the brown people. And as she's talking and doing a big speech, her face starts to melt and she becomes this hideous, grotesque thing. And then her team of makeup people come in and give her Botox, and then she's normal again. So that's what she's referencing here. But apparently it's an attack on women, not an attack on her. Yeah, fucking cunt.
It's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists do that. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that. But clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
From what I just said, they did criticize your job, and they pointed out that you're evil and abducting people and putting people in concentration camps. And I know that seems critical and terrible, but it's what you're doing, so screw you. And
okay. This is ridiculous. Who do you think that is?
She looks very made up and very 80s. That's not her, is it?
That is her.
Oh, my God.
Before she had all the work done.
Wow.
So I tell you what, they're not making fun of her for what she looks like because she doesn't fucking look like that. That is somebody else. I don't know if she's in Wipro or what, but she doesn't look like that.
Yeah, she looks like a very different person. I guessed 80s because of the hair. That's kind of 80s hair, but I would not guess that that's her whatsoever.
She looks completely different. Now, I don't know if she was in a horrible accident and had to have her fucking teeth done and her nose done and her face fixed. And if that is the case, I'm very sorry that she had to have her entire face reconstructed. But I would probably not. Now, she has the same eyes, but it would be very difficult. Imagine if you knew her back then and then you walked into a room and you didn't hear her speak, how difficult it would be to pick her out of a lineup and say, that's the same woman.
Yeah. Well, okay, and I'll just say that if it was the thing where she got attacked by dogs and therefore disfigured, then I would be okay with that.
That would explain why she's okay with shooting them all.
It's all full circle. It's the circle of life.
I mean, I would still feel bad. I don't wish that sort of thing on anyone, but
I don't usually, anybody that gets to the point that she's at of being a genuinely terrible piece of shit person, I do wish bad things on them. We've talked about Ass Rape Island. I don't know. Probably don't send her there. You need a special island for her. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like she's not doing her actual job. She's just dressing up and cosplaying whatever it is she's doing. So wherever she's going, she's dressing up in the outfit and going and being photographed.
She's immigration Barbie cunt. That's what she is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There was one interview I will preface this with saying I am going to get the quote wrong. We might need to look it up, but somebody asked her a question and she said, look, I'm not a national security expert. And that was the quote of the century because, girl, it's literally your fucking one job.
Right.
That's what we pay you for. You should be.
But every single person that Trump has hired is the most unqualified person for their job. That Department of Education woman, that McMahon, she comes from wrestling. What is she doing there? And she goes and she reads statements talking about the A1. No, it's not A1 we're talking about, you fucking dolt. It's AI. And if you want to learn about AI, at least know what goddamn AI is. Jesus Christ.
To be fair, have you been to a public high school lately? Wrestling may have a place. In the
Good point.
Okay, all jokes aside, though, that is fucking ridiculous.
Every single person that's been elected is terrible. That Pete guy comes from Fox News. Yeah, he's qualified to do something because he commentated on whatever, and he's good to help us with international incidents. Just go ahead and text everybody, you fucking asshole.
Fucking asshole. He just recently liked and retweeted or re-X'd something from some ultra-conservative religio wanktard that seems to endorse women losing the right to vote and bringing back slavery. So that's what he's busy up to today.
Handmaid's Tale. That's what we're headed towards here in this society. I know a little bit about it. And if you're talking about ultra-conservative Christian neotards, I've got one of those in a second. I realized I'm very fired up and bitching about a lot of people this week, and that's not what the show is always about. But it's a good week for it because now Dean Cain. Do you know about Dean Cain?
Let the hate flow through you.
Go,
do I know
Vader.
about Dean Cain?
Yeah.
I do. Would I recognize him now? No, because he's fat as fuck and looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He's probably the only person on ice who won't have to wear a mask because no one would fucking recognize him. Anyway, please, after you.
So he now has decided that he's joining ICE. He's one of the ultra right-wing assholes that has bought into everything. He and Kevin Sorbo are basically the same person. They're washed-up assholes.
Not Kevin Sorbo!
Kevin Sorbo can't get a fucking job anymore. And last night I looked at Dean Cain's IMDb, and there's so many movies you've never heard of. So many things since he did Lois and Clark in like 1993 that he has been a part of that nobody knows what they are, that are rated 4s on the IMDb scale. And many of them are right-wing religious kookery videos like Praise Jesus in this city and all that kind of thing. And he's brainwashed. And now he has decided that he is going to be a member of ICE. And I have him here on the Chris Cuomo show talking about him joining ICE.
Why ICE? And what do you want to do and what do you want people to know?
I'm standing up for ICE, and the reason I'm going to join ICE and be an honorary ICE officer.
My point exactly. It's like he's an ICE agent like Elvis was a police officer in the 70s.
Yeah, he's going to come to Habitat for Humanity. He's going to hold a fucking hammer. He's going to get a photo taken, and he's going home. Cool.
Very
Glad
good
we sorted that
analogy.
out.
Thank you for bringing that in. Yes.
Because they're being vilified right now horribly. At the same time,
ICE is being picked on, the fucking poor ICE people. Why are people picking on ICE? Why won't they leave ICE alone? God. I hate so much.
They're being vilified right now horribly. At the same time, like years ago when I joined the police force, I'm a sworn deputy sheriff in Frederick County, Virginia.
He's a cop all over the place because he has no acting roles to keep him busy.
I'm a reserve police officer in Pocatello, Idaho, because people were talking about defunding the police, which to me is insanity. Right now, people are doxing ICE agents. They're going after them. They're attacking them for doing the job that they're supposed to do, that they were hired to do. And people are just attacking them left and right. They're there to protect American citizens.
No, they're not.
That's what I want to do. And I want to stand shoulder to shoulder with these ICE agents and let people know these are wonderful, fantastic American
So
people.
why aren't you out there standing shoulder to shoulder rather than sitting in a studio talking to this other asshole? Why aren't you out doing that, Dean Cain?
Their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, and to attack them and or their families, and you mentioned it earlier, is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. There are often different ways to see things. I talk to Tom Homan often about the reach of the policy, and he gets to make his case about that he believes that the number reflects a very high threat threshold. I worry about overreach and the effect on economies and communities. But beating up on the people enforcing the law doesn't make sense. How do you say
literally beating up, I'm not necessarily for, but figuratively beating up on, sure, because they're terrible people. If you take a job as an ICE agent, you are a shitty person. Is there any argument to that at this point?
At this point, no. I think there is a conversation to be had about the how of a job. Because prior to this, yes, ICE has always been a little bit the boogeyman or the bogeyman, right? It's always been not a great thing. But people haven't put their entire families into hiding because they've been frightened of being bashed, dragged off the street, all of that kind of stuff. They've been worried about being arrested and that kind of thing. People haven't been worried about having no due process. American citizens haven't been afraid of ICE. ICE has existed for forever. The problem that we're having now with ICE isn't that the job that they're doing. The job that they have is an important job, right? It's the how they are doing it. It's the what they're being asked to do. It's the fact that we have mercenary fuckwits who won't identify themselves, covering up their face with military-style weapons, literally dragging people off the street, refusing reason, hurting people, and then locking people up and denying them due process and deporting people to countries they're not from. So it's not about the what. Well, it is about the what, but it's the what has changed. And
it's
how
the way the
has
job
changed.
has been defined, that they're now hiring basically anybody, and those anybody people get a big bonus for every brown person that they bring in. And that's the way the job works. And it is modern Nazism. And I'm kind of not okay with doxing them. I love the idea of it, the rebellion of it, but it's not fair to a family if they are put in danger. There's a part of me that, while I don't endorse it, understands if there is a group of ICE agents out in the field and they get hurt in the line of the job, that I'm kind of okay with that. And I feel like that's kind of where we're headed anyway, because civil war is seeming inevitable at this point.
And they're also making the job so attractive that desperate people will take this job. They're not offering firefighters, doctors, EMTs, police officers, teachers. None of those people are getting their student loans forgiven. None of those people. But ICE agents are.
And they're just doing whatever they can to get as many of those people out, wreaking havoc, because that's where we're headed. And again, it feels down and depressing, and I don't know how we get past it, but we'll do a little bit more of this. I think there's like another minute here.
separate your partisan feelings as a Trump supporter with your patriotic feelings in this instance?
Well, it's the law. You know, Congress makes
Dragging people off the streets who are citizens is a law? I wasn't aware.
Immigration law, and ICE enforces that law. So if they want to change the law, change the law. Excuse me. You look at our immigration system. We accept more than 1 million legal immigrants every year. That's more than the next 3 or 4 countries combined. America is hugely immigrant friendly, and we should be.
No, we're not.
Bring in
Not anymore.
immigrants, bring them in, vet them, have them come here and have them assimilate. That's a wonderful part of America. And people want to be here because it is the land of the free and the home of the brave and the land of opportunity. And that's because of our Constitution. So these men and women who step up and do this, that gentleman there, those agents don't need to be doxxed for doing their job. They're not trying to be cruel to people. These are wonderful, wonderful people, but they're being vilified and turned into these awful, people call them Gestapo and things like that, which is insane.
He was going to go Marjorie Taylor Greene there and say gazpacho for a second, and then he caught himself because he's Dean Cain and he's smart, but you know.
But just like any profession, there are some bad apples. And when you open the gates wide open and you start trying to recruit rapidly, you will be infiltrated by bad apples. Look at the police force. Most police officers are excellent human beings who are motivated to serve their community, uphold the law, and they put their lives on the line every single day. Our community, where I live, we have amazing police officers, okay? Great people. However, as we know, that's not everywhere. We have horrible, racist, murderous fucks in some other parts of the country, right? These are the facts. So there are bad apples.
I would argue the fact that there are bad apples, but, and I get your point, there are good cops and bad cops, but I think at this point they are only picking the bad apples to be ICE agents, because I think if you're looking for that job at this point in our history, I think you are genuinely a shitty person and you don't care about people and you're probably racist because you're willing to do that job just by virtue of the fact of what it has become in this country. And there have to be people out there that are Mexican that have become ICE agents. And I don't know, as a person of Mexican heritage, how you would ever consider taking that job. And I don't know how you wake up in the morning and go to do that.
It reminds me, there's this great show, Lawman Bass Reed. It's the story of one of the first African-American U.S. Marshals. And he is sent to go and catch all different people across the Wild West. And he gets called for like betraying his people. Like, how do you do this? And, he faces some moral quandaries and that kind of thing comes up. It's an interesting show and very well made.
Do you think that at some point in our country, as we get past this, that we are going to get to a point where perhaps those ICE agents and people in government are put in jail for what they've done? I would really like to think that there's kidnapping and violation of people's Fourth Amendment rights and so many ways that we could put these people in jail. And I want to be hopeful.
There absolutely has to be some sort of reckoning and some sort of justice. There will be trials for some of these people if they can figure out who they are. There's a reason that they wear masks.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They're starting to try to pass laws that they can't wear masks. They've done that here in California, I believe. That's worked out. And if you notice, they're kind of backing off California because it's been decided that they're not supposed to be here, and they're making laws that they can't wear masks and that sort of thing. So that's why they're in D.C. now, because they can start to go intimidate there. We were talking about right-wing religious kooks a second ago, and I have one for you.
Ooh,
I think based on what we've discussed and even discussed earlier, your kids are not that big into sports. Do your kids play soccer at all?
Just casually with their mates.
You can't allow that. You cannot allow them to be playing soccer because it's going to make them gay.
Oh.
Yeah, we can't let them be gay and playing soccer. So here's a preacher, Mike Johnson, somewhere in America.
Let's stand together tonight. I know you teenagers are tired. You ran around and kicked the ball. How many played soccer today? Did you play soccer today? Was that part of the thing? No? Thank God. Soccer's for queers. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ain't no man running around in shorts kicking a ball. I mean, come on now. Look at me, people. Look at me. No.
What?
Soccer's for queers. You didn't know that? It's a worldwide sport, but it is for queers. Here in America, we don't want that sort of thing happening.
Oh my gosh. It is actually, I think without a doubt, the biggest sport.
Yeah.
Actually in the world.
Yeah. Well, they're all gay. All those people playing soccer, they're queers. Can't have that kind of thing going on, so don't let your kids play soccer.
Well, then I wonder how the population keeps expanding in all of these countries to fuel the stands being so full.
Yeah. Well, here's more of Mike Johnson.
A ball. I mean, come on now. Look at me, people. Look at me. No.
No.
Football, that's like somewhere in another country. Football, that's when you hit somebody so stinking hard the mama feels it.
Fuck yeah, America.
See, in soccer, you run around, you kick the ball. Let's kick the ball. Let's go kick the ball. And then if you fall down, you get grass stains on your shorts. No. That's not even a sport. I'm sorry. I know that. I get myself in trouble everywhere I go, but no. Football. Hike, tackle.
That's real.
Blow somebody out of their shoes. Football.
Don't have a bunch of fags playing football.
Soccer. When you kick them out, soccer. And you kick them out. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I know you're tired, young people. You're wore out from running around in the sun, and, you're 15 and your energy's gone.
Mike Johnson's
That
tired.
cracks me up, that.
What do you think about just enacting a law that we can't have anybody named Mike Johnson doing anything important in this country? Because we have the Speaker of the House, and he's a dick. And then we have this guy. I think maybe all Mike Johnsons are bad. Like all people that work at Walmart are terrible. All Mike Johnsons are bad. Prove me wrong.
Well, I mean, Johnson is another word for cock.
There you
so
go.
I think right up there, like first and foremost. But homophobic isn't the fear of gay people. It's the fear that I might be gay. It's the person's fear that they personally might be gay.
You are seeing the secret notes on my outline.
Oh, and so when I hear him making those ridiculous, effeminate sounds with his voice and that kind of thing, he is saying to me that he is actually in the closet. Mike Johnson has a Grindr account, without a doubt.
He has feelings he doesn't know how to deal with at the very least. Or maybe, like you said, he's out there doing it. And maybe rather than just committing to being okay as a person and sucking that dick, he's got to try to do something and tamp it down. So he goes and gives a sermon and tells people that their kids playing soccer is gay.
It is. There's a lot of crazy shit out there. But I have never heard something like that before. And that is bonkers. I don't know how many people are in his congregation.
It seemed like a decent group of people in the video.
I imagine he lost some people that day. How old is that guy?
I would say you have really weird gassy attacks in the middle of sentences.
I'm so upset I'm nearly throwing up in my mouth. I'm like,
I could see you, and I wondered if people could hear it sometimes, but you'll be mid-sentence.
I know. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's wrong with me. Throw me in the trash. I'm done.
So what was the question? Was it how many people were there? That kind of.
Yeah, like how many people are in his congregation?
It seemed like a decent size of people, and he is 40s, 50s, I would guess. He's not super old.
Far out, man.
Yeah. And I kind of already know the answer to this based on what you just said, but I hear this and I just hear America asshole. Do people in other countries have this kind of shitty, weird judgment about things ever?
No.
Okay. Because that's what I would guess. And I try to not think that we're that bad, but we are apparently that bad and that judgmental and terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And also football, the actual original football, which has existed before America was even a country, soccer, it is the most followed, most played sport in the entire world.
Well, but it's for gays. We can't have that.
It is for the gays.
He knows, he's decided, he's letting people know, he's warning us that one, we don't realize it's for gays, and two, that is bad.
Yeah. Please do also let the record show that American football causes the most brain damage of any sport.
American football causes crazies like Travis Kelce's brother to scream like he did at the top of the show, talking over Taylor Swift, and that should never be.
Causes people to kill their wives.
There you go. Yeah.
There is actually, I think it's called post-concussion syndrome.
CTE or something.
Yeah. And to the point where I think there are laws where if you've had, or rules, guidelines, where if you've had 3 serious concussions, you're supposed to get retired. Yeah, something like that. But it messes you up. It causes real problems. And this is the story of why my children aren't allowed to play football.
It's good that they have those kind of attitudes that they do. And they are already at a place of not even having to worry about that because they sound like they're smart and together and aren't buying into the American bullshit. It sounds like I hate this country so much, and I don't. I love the ideal of what this country should be. It's just that we're not even slightly close to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my sons they do play sports, by the way. They do sports. They swim on a year-round swim team, like a competitive swim team, and they play tennis.
Might be gay. You might want to be concerned about that. Your kids could
We
go
live
gay.
in hope.
Yeah.
That's all I could hope for, is that I have 2 gay sons. I'd
Man,
be so
if I
proud.
had gay kids, that would be rad. I would hug those kids and I would say, you go out there and you be gay and you be as gay as you can and you fight for the world, because that's the kind of gay I would be. I would just be such a militant fucker and just putting it in faces wherever I could. I would be so into it. It's a good thing I'm not a father.
Yeah. We have 0 feelings about that. I don't know if you know this. One of my brothers is gay and married with a husband.
You mentioned that, yeah.
So my sons have gay uncles and straight uncles because I'm the only girl in my family. So my family doesn't know that there's actually any difference.
There should be no difference to it. It should be like, okay, that person has blue eyes. They're different because they have blue eyes. That's the amount of impact that it should have on anything in the world.
Yeah, so it's really upsetting at the moment that people are calling for there to be a change in marriage in this country. That would have a real and tangible impact on a lot of our friends and family. And get out there, call, write, sign things, send emails, whatever you have to do. Write to your local members, senators,
if we can
whatever.
make it the next 14 months or whatever it is to get to the next elections, and if we can have fair elections and they don't fuck up all of that, then I think we'll be at a better place because we can just stalemate it for the next 2 years until we get this fucker out of office. I just am worried that they're going to screw around with that, and everybody just be prepared to fight because we might be headed towards another civil war, and lock your doors. And God, I would love to move to Canada still. I'm looking into that, and it's very difficult.
I read this morning, speaking of Canada, you know Lindt chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindt chocolate has just told the United States to go fuck itself. Okay,
Good.
maybe they didn't say that, but they will no longer import to the USA. They've shifted everything to Canada because of the tariffs. They're like, all right, fuck all y'all.
I would
sure
love
that's what
to
the
be
email
up
said.
there and just be a part of that spirit. And hey, we're all doing the right thing. And look at us as a country and look who we've elected compared to your fucking Cheeto. And here's a question. If I said, like, if I grabbed my 80-year-old mother and we took our passports and went to Canada and we went there and then said to the Canadian government, we want to be political asylum people, could we do that? I don't think that you can. But then what if I said, I do a podcast that says hateful stuff?
Just play them half the shit on the show.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm thinking. Like, I'm a controversial person and I've said terrible things and I fear for my safety, I could tell them.
Sure.
Yeah, if it comes down to that, we'll see how it goes. Before we go, I want to mention that a thing just came out on Netflix and it's pretty great. Jim Jefferies, Two-Limb Policy, brand new stand-up special. Goddamn hilarious, completely wrong. Every single word out of his mouth is wrong, but it's wrong and there's nothing hateful and terrible in it. And it's some of the best stand-up you will ever see.
My husband loves Jim Jefferies.
He's got a little bit of an accent, Jim Jefferies.
Yes, because he's Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was from the Bronx. I picked up kind of a New York thing there.
Really? Am I wrong? Wait a minute.
No, I'm just being a dick. Of course he's Australian.
Fuck you. I was like, what are you talking about? He actually grew up where my husband grew up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
tell your husband to watch this one. It's really edgy, though, and really great. I've seen Jim Jefferies in concert, and he's fantastic. And
he's fantastic.
Yeah.
We saw him in concert when he just started to give up drinking.
he went through that, and he has a new wife, I know. And his show, legit, was really wrong and really funny. You can find that in places from probably 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, he's a good egg. He's a funny bloke. But yeah, it is pretty wrong. You know, there is an Australian comedian. His name is Carl with a C. In Australia, we say Carl. Carl Barron. So Carl Barron for the Americans, okay? His name is Carl Barron. So Carl Barron.
Wait, I want to get this right. You're saying Carl Barron?
Yeah.
Carl Barron.
Carl Barron.
Carl Barron. Okay. Good.
Carl Barron.
Yeah,
Carl Barron. 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 Yeah, so he's great. We watch his specials over and over and over again. Really, really funny guy.
I will give that a go. Once again, it's been a pleasure with you.
It's always a fun time.
Everybody be vigilante.
Be vigilante.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.
Give